guys, it's Taylor again with facts on firearm safety and of course, more tips from our resident expert, Skip.
Hi folks.
Today we'll be looking at different types of ammunition, such as practice ammunition versus protection and hunting ammunition. You may experience a difference between, say, protection ammunition versus practice ammunition. Skip?
Yes, there are four basic components of a bullet. Number one, you have the cartridge. Number two, you have a primer. Number three, the powder, and then number four is the projectile. For pistol and rifle ammunition, you can shoot a full metal jacket or a hollow point.
We'll demonstrate what these look like and also we'll discuss the uses for both.
Now, what are the different calibers and what are their uses? We will use a bullet board to demonstrate the enormous amount of different calibers. We will also give you a shot guide to demonstrate shotgun shell pellets and gauge sizes.
Now, what is recoil and how do I react to it? It's very important when choosing a firearm to consider the amount of recoil, how to properly handle and deal with it.
That's right. Just remember, the bigger the bullet, the bigger the boom. Okay, Taylor, ready to get confused some more about ammunition and different size calibers?
Let's do it.
All right, so let's do it. So we have a big array of bullets as well as full cartridges on the table. We have some shotgun, some pistol, and rifle. Most of these are rifle, some of them also are pistol. It can become confusing. For example, if someone says, oh, well, you're shooting a .45 caliber. Well, if we look at this particular bullet, that is a .45 caliber, but so is the one next to it. One's called a .45 long Colt, and if you'll remember that big pistol that we showed the single action, that was a .45 long Colt, and that double action semi-automatic was a .45 ACP. Both of them used a .45 diameter, but different casings. And I know you're going to ask me this about recoil, so much more recoil with this one because it has more casing, more area to put powder in than the .45 ACP. A little less recoil, but still more recoil. So we look at the .22 caliber. It's the smallest one on the table. Very little room for a lot of powder, so a lot less felt recoil that you'll have with the .22. The same rules kind of apply when we look at shotgun shells. We have a .410, and .410 is the smallest commercial available shotgun shell there is on the market today. Great caliber. It's a fun caliber to shoot. Very, very little recoil, and mostly it's because of the diameter, there's not a lot of room for powder. Going up from there is 20 gauge, a little bit bigger. Still not the type of recoil that these three will give you, such as the 12 gauge. This is a competitive 12 gauge sporting round. These two are 12 gauge hunting rounds. You've probably heard of double-aught buck. This is what a double-aught buck looks like, although you can't see it. So the smallest pellets that you find are number 9, and the numbers progress backwards, getting larger in size. 9 being the smallest, then 8, 7.5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then it gets to a 0, double-aught, triple-aught, BB, double BB, and triple BB. And that's the sizes of the pellets. The bigger the number, the more, or the less pellets there are, but the more powder there is. And this is a slug. So it actually has a projectile like you'll see here in a shotgun shell. And you can see the slug in there. It's a little hard to see, but hopefully you can see this. Again, it just looks like a projectile similar to this inside the 12 gauge shell. All right. Now, we talk about the different sizes, and we also talked about protection versus practice. So we want to practice with what we call a full metal jacket. So if I said, okay, here's a test, Taylor, which ones do you think are full metal jacket on the table?
This grouping.
There you go, very good. So As you can see, she picked out that solid point. And I like to consider the full metal jacket as the Energizer Bunny of the bullet world. You shoot this, it keeps going and going and going. It penetrates and keeps going. It goes through walls. That's why they have the big berms at the shooting ranges when we go to capture the projectile. Then what we want to protect ourselves with are the hollow points. And you can physically see a hollow point in this. You can also see serrations around the top of the bullet. And this is what we want to protect ourselves with. We're going to consider this one the Karate Kid of the bullet world. It's going to use all of its force upon impact, and then it starts to fragment. It starts to spread apart, and that's why when it starts doing its damage, it will mushroom and fragment. This is also what we hunt with. If you'll notice, Taylor, could you pull one of those shells out of that cartridge holder? Now, can you notice a funny looking tip in that one?
Yeah.
So it's not a full metal jacket like this. This is actually a hunting round, and it's meant to mushroom and expand to stop the animal and make it a very humane and ethical kill, and instead of making him suffer by shooting a bullet that goes right through him and now he's wounded and still alive somewhere. That's the biggest difference between protection ammo and practice ammo, hunting ammo. So we want to practice with these, protect ourselves with these, and hunt with these. And by the way, these are the best buy. About 100 of these cost what about 20 of these cost. But one thing I really, really want to emphasize with you when using hollow points, most of us will go to the range with our handguns and we will practice with that full metal jacket because it's the most economical way. And full metal jackets cycle in almost every kind of semi-automatic firearm. But if you notice, I've got very different types of hollow points here. And not all of them feed the same. So it's imperative that whatever you're going to carry in your firearm to protect yourself with, that you do practice with it to make sure that it feeds in the firearm that you're going to use.
That's a great tip.
That's, in a nutshell, Bullets 101.
Well, that's very helpful. Thank you, Skip. We look forward to seeing you guys next episode.